I repeat, the challenge. Where the hell are you going?
After almost 30 years of impossible missions, Ethan Hunt is finally facing his final reckoning. And no, that's not a spoiler. It's literally in the title. Now, think about it. The first Mission Impossible movie came out in 1996. Some of you watching this video weren't even born yet. And here we are in 2025, still talking about Ethan Hunt, still watching Tom Cruise risk his life on camera. That's not just a franchise, that's dedication. What makes this moment special is the word final. This isn't just another entry in the series. This is being marketed as the conclusion, the ultimate test for Ethan Hunt, the spy who's been outrunning death longer than some actors have been in Hollywood. And let's be honest, when a studio says final, it usually means bigger budget, higher stakes, and the kind of stunts that make your palms sweat. But here's the thing. When you hear Mission Impossible, what comes to mind? Is it the iconic theme song? Is it Tom Cruise dangling from some insane height? Is it the masks that fool everyone, even though we as the audience totally see it coming? Or is it just the pure adrenaline that no other franchise has managed to replicate in quite the same way? This opening chapter of The Final Reckoning isn't just about what happens on screen. It's about the history we've built with these characters. It's about saying goodbye to a story that's been part of our lives for decades. And honestly, whether you've watched all the films or just caught a few, you know one thing: when Ethan Hunt takes on a mission, you're in for a ride. So the hook is simple after all these years. Can Mission Impossible actually pull off the impossible one more time and give us an ending that feels truly unforgettable? Before we dive into The Final Reckoning, let's take a step back, because this franchise, it didn't just pop out of nowhere. Mission Impossible actually started as a TV series way back in the 1960s. A cool little spy show with clever gadgets, impossible missions, and of course that legendary theme song. You know the one? Once it starts playing, you instantly feel like you're about to sneak into a high-security vault. Fast forward to 1996 and Hollywood decides to bring it back to life. Enter Tom Cruise, already a megastar thanks to Top Gun and Jerry Maguire, taking on the role of Ethan Hunt. At the time, people weren't sure if a spy TV show could really work as a blockbuster movie. Finally, it worked, big time. The first film, directed by Brian De Palma, gave us that iconic scene of Cruise hanging from the ceiling, sweating bullets, trying not to touch the floor. That moment didn't just define the movie, it set the tone for the entire franchise. From then on, every Mission Impossible had to outdo the last one. Higher stakes, crazier stunts, and plots so twisty you needed a flowchart to keep up. And over the years, different directors put their own spin on the series. John Woo gave us slow-motion doves and over the top action in MI2. J.J. Abrams injected a dose of emotional storytelling in MI3. Brad Bird delivered breathtaking spectacle with Ghost Protocol, including that insane Burj Khalifa climb. And then Christopher McQuarrie took the reins, bringing a mix of gritty realism and jaw-dropping stunts in Rogue Nation and Fallout. What makes Mission Impossible stand out is its consistency. While other franchises have stumbled, yes, I'm looking at you, Fast and Furious, this one kept raising the bar. It's rare for the 6th or 7th film in a series to actually be one of the best. But Fallout, critics and fans loved it, some even calling it the greatest action movie of the decade. So by the time we get to The Final Reckoning, we're not just watching another spy thriller. We're watching the culmination of nearly 3 decades of action cinema history. We're watching Tom Cruise dedicate his entire career, and probably his entire body, to keeping us on the edge of our seats. And whether you've been there since 1996, or you're just jumping in now, you can feel the weight of that legacy. Alright, now let's talk about the brains behind the madness. Because a movie this huge doesn't just happen by accident. At the center of it all, we've got Christopher McQuarrie. If the name sounds familiar, that's because he's been the secret weapon of the Mission Impossible series for years. McQuarrie first made waves in Hollywood as the writer of The Usual Suspects back in 1995, a film so twisty it made everyone question who they could trust. He won an Academy Award for that screenplay, and since then, he's built a reputation as one of the smartest storytellers in the business. Now, what makes him so perfect for Mission Impossible? Well, he's basically Tom Cruise's right-hand man. They've worked together on Jack Reacher, Rogue Nation, Fallout, Top Gun Maverick, and now The Final Reckoning. If Cruise is the daredevil on screen, McQuarrie is the mastermind making sure the insanity actually makes sense. It's a partnership that's redefined modern action filmmaking. And it's not just McQuarrie. The production team backing this movie is stacked. We've got Skydance Media and Paramount Pictures footing the bill. And when I say bill, I mean hundreds of millions of dollars. That's not just popcorn money. That's let's fly helicopters through mountain ranges money. The crew includes some of the best in the industry. The cinematography is handled by Fraser Taggart, who already worked on Fallout. The stunt coordinators. Honestly, they deserve their own awards. Every time Tom Cruise says, "I want to jump off this thing," they're the ones figuring out how to make it look cinematic and not, well, like a trip to the emergency room. And let's not forget the composers. Lorne Balfe, who scored Fallout and Dead Reckoning Part 1, is back to bring that heart-pounding, pulse-racing music that makes even walking down a hallway feel like the most dangerous mission in the world. So when you add it all up, McQuarrie's storytelling, Cruise's dedication, and a production team that treats every movie like it's the Super Bowl of action. You know, The Final Reckoning isn't just another sequel. It's the ultimate collaboration of some of the most talented people in Hollywood, all working to make sure this finale goes out with a bang. Literally. Of course, a Mission Impossible movie wouldn't be complete without its cast of impossible people, led by none other than Tom Cruise. Let's be honest, at this point, Tom isn't just playing Ethan Hunt. He basically is Ethan Hunt. The man's been doing his own death-defying stunts for so long that insurance companies probably have his photo pinned to a dartboard. Cruise has been in Hollywood since the early 80s, breaking out with Risky Business, cementing his star power with Top Gun, and proving his acting chops with Jerry Maguire and Magnolia. But it's Mission Impossible that became his legacy. Every time you think he can't possibly top the last stunt, boom, he climbs the Burj Khalifa, or hangs off a flying plane, or now drives a motorcycle off a cliff. Who does that? Only Tom. So why does The Final Reckoning matter so much? Well, because this isn't just another spy flick. It's being positioned as the grand finale of Ethan Hunt's story. And that's a big deal considering we've been following this character for nearly 3 decades. Think about it. When the first movie came out in 1996, Ethan Hunt was just another agent in a stylish spy thriller. Fast forward to 2025, and he's become one of the most iconic action heroes in film history. Along the way, we've seen him betray gravity, logic, and maybe even common sense, but always in the name of saving the world. What makes The Final Reckoning so significant is that it's not just another mission, it's the mission. The story is expected to tie up long, running arcs, confront Ethan with consequences he's been dodging for years, and maybe even force him to question everything he's stood for. But here's the fun part. I want to hear from you. Do you think The Final Reckoning will give Ethan Hunt the ending he truly deserves? Or should the impossible mission never end? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. Hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't just click away. Hit that subscribe button, because we've got plenty more exciting videos about movies, storytelling, and the behind-the-scenes magic that makes cinema unforgettable.